You're live, good people.
Right now.
Live, good people.
Hey,
How does it look?
yeah. When you say you look good, you look good.
Hey, you saw one person liked already, so give it a thumbs up if you already joined the live. And yeah, we're gonna wait for the rest of the good people. And then we'll get into the conversation.
But I like to keep giving hoops, bro.
Let me flourish in this life.
Catching some of the legs.
Oh, that's what's up.
So it's like basically I was asking Gabo if not Gabo, sorry. If I was asking Tapan if he went to the mountain, or did he go to like the doctor? Because in Tswana culture, when you come back from the mountain, like you have to like is one was up. Yeah, so like you have to basically, you have to praise yourself. Like you're not just praising yourself, you're praising your ancestors because now you're officially like part of the clan as a man.
Okay.
That's all I know.
I know what it was, but
I think it's like really cultural. What's up, everybody? I see we got 8 people who've already joined the live. 9. We're just waiting for the rest of the definers to join the conversation, and then
I'm seeing 1 like, 2 likes.
yeah, so 2 likes there. 10 people. Yeah, 2 o'clock on time. You know, we're not the problem. You know what I'm saying? Waiting just for the rest of the family, and then we're gonna get into today's Asking for a Friend live. How are you guys feeling about Asking
I'm
for a Friend
excited.
live?
How do you guys make sense? My child does.
I already know the
thing.
I'm ready. Like I know because the first live, we were a mess. No one is so.
It was a good mess.
It's
It
just
was a good mess.
but I'm
It was
excited for
organized.
that. I'm very excited for it.
He's the only girl here. You better represent the girls, Mama.
I feel like
Girls.
women are not problematic.
Hey Zoe, I see you. What's up, Dirty Dishes? I see you.
Hey, welcome. You have to say hi to Zoe.
Oh, we're at 60. Let's go. The numbers were like.
Okay.
All right, so I think we can. Are you guys ready? I think we can get into this. What's up, good people, and welcome to the very first Asking for a Friend live. Let's do this. So as you guys know, my name is Dennis Ngango, so YouTube stalker, you know the mix, hey, so you know, so Dennis Ngango,
Tapelo.
XTC.
Yo, what's up? My name is Bongangi, the proudest South African guy, the risk taker, a believer for successful mate, a dreamer by day, a visionary by night.
Come on, come on, come on.
I have to follow that. I'm Norma, guys, and you already know me.
Yo, I'm Tebo. AKA the Music Warrior. What's up?
So this is the squad for today's Asking. Go. Mr. Single hit down.
Yo, what's going on? Hey, boy, this is your boy Penyu, aka Mr. Professionally Single. But everybody just calls me Hoops. And yeah. And yeah, you see why they leave me out, I don't know.
No,
I feel so it was just like felt like I was just featuring.
It wasn't on purpose, but
credits.
No. So you guys now got to meet the squad. So this is our squad for today's Asking for a Friend live. I'm super excited about it, and everyone else. Hey Tembi, what's up?
My man looks good.
All right. So Asking for a Friend between it live, just like the previous video, we're going to be going through different scenarios. And the awesome part about doing it on the live is that you guys will also be able to give us your insight in the comments, and then we'll be able to, hey, what's up, Bushle? But anyway, so we'll be able to give you guys some feedback, and we'll be able to have like the conversation together. Just 2 quick announcements before we get into the video. Number 1, Noma.
Guys, remember the Shukana video? She has a rose face coming up on. Let us know. Go like the video, go comment underneath the video who is the phenomenal person that you would like to bring along to Rose Face, and you could stand a chance to win a set of tickets to that.
Awesome. All right, and then the second announcement we have is we're going to do some double up. You know, we want to change things up on defining and do a double up of defining love. That means we want to post 2 defining loves in 1 week on Tuesday and Thursday. But
And we know you want it.
exactly,
So-
we've heard your cries. You guys want defining love back, and in order to unlock the 2 episodes, we need everyone's help to get to 14K subscribers. So
By Tuesday.
yeah, by Tuesday. So tell your friends. Do what you gotta do. Exactly.
They must tell their
It's
friends
all
that.
love.
Exactly. So great. Exactly.
Something.
Your campus email account, make sure that your campus email account is subscribed to Define as well.
Use that
Exactly.
through Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that
So
email
that's the
account that
chat.
you use for the Netflix free trial, make sure
Do it.
That one.
Click it, bro. That's it.
And
also,
also,
today, I'm not related to Sabelo. My
yeah.
brother. She literally commented that we're not related. I promise.
We can be their brothers.
We can be brothers and start
Yeah,
Define.
and we're like, I saw
Like,
one.
for you
Oh yeah,
guys.
shout out to Delroy.
we don't mind.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, so they're not related, and also to the 77 people who are part of this live, we only have 22 likes. What's happening, guys?
Yes, you
What's
can tell them they must
happening?
like this live.
What's
also.
happening?
People that get paid for likes though.
It's free.
All right, so let's get into the first situation. It says, I have guy issues. I met this guy 3 years ago, but only started dating him this year. Around March, I broke up with him because I felt he never had time for me, and he went 3 weeks without seeing me. For 2 months, he kept asking me, when am I willing to forgive him and basically take him back? Cool. Around June, I decided to take homeboy back, and because I had feelings for him. So now currently he went mute on me, no text, no checkup, and I'm really confused whether this is a relationship or whether I'm being popeyed.
Babes.
So she's basically saying, you know, this isn't the Umjolo that she knows. So the situation is essentially her and this guy, they've known each other for years. Now they started dating this year, already March. That was like 3 months down. She decides now she want to call it quits because homeboy essentially was not putting much effort. They were not seeing each other. And now the question is, or rather after that, they started dating again, he started ghosting again, and now she's asking, is she a Popeye? Or, you know, is this even a relationship? What the hell is happening? What do you guys think?
Sis is 100% people by.
This guy's
And way Gator. She's doing it to herself because the first time he did the same thing, he ghosted you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you took a stand and you were like, you know what, I'm not doing this. This is not my portion. Bye.
Yeah.
And then you still went back. This is like you in the mirror putting on your clown face because.
Fool me once, fool me once.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
shame on you.
I said lucky.
Don't date my banners. My banners will always want to disappoint.
Come on, boy.
But guys, wait. You quick to jump the gun, man. And I can see on the comment already everyone is saying leave him. But the thing is, we are guys, man. You know when you're a guy, sometimes you want to be sure about a girl. You need your time alone. Like, you know
Then
what?
communicate.
No, wait.
Yeah.
For that communication, it's gonna sound like a breakup. So for me to stay away a bit, I need to stay away a bit to say, you know what, I need my time alone. When I come back, I know I'm gonna have excuses, but I know by the time I come back, that means I'm coming back.
But the thing is, he didn't give a sign, didn't communicate to say, I'm
that's
taking a
the
bit
thing.
of
No, you have
a
to say,
like, yo.
without the communication.
Yeah,
And my
you
thing
have to
is, isn't it better to communicate?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let her know where you are, where you're trying to get to.
If there's no communication, there's no relationship.
Just like how.
Not the biggest thing I realized is that she met this guy 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They know
Right.
each other.
They've known each other for a good amount of
And
time,
he's doing
right?
this now.
Yeah. That is like what was going on in those 3 years to get to that point, like that you don't see that this person doesn't communicate well and things like that. And that's why I guess I agree with Norma. You're always like, yeah, she's being provided because
Yeah.
for that whole 3 years in jail, you're telling me you never realized this person's not like being a bad communicator or it just goes MIA unprovoked. You know what I mean? So nah, man.
But like she's doing it to herself,
Like that.
honestly.
I'm just in the weekend, but we're not being ghosts.
No, I know, but I'm just saying,
No,
like,
legit.
with her going back now
Okay.
and then asking if she's being a Popeye,
Right.
babes, you know you're being a Popeye.
Right.
You know you just want validation, and
Absolutely.
you're not gonna get it.
So
Leave this man
Some of the comments are saying she likes punishment.
Maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's your thing.
Dalroy,
That's cold.
Dalroy, I saw your comment where he said Mans is committed to the streets.
City boys.
City boys.
Hot boy summer.
All season long. All season long.
No, guys.
Yo, Kagiso was saying, just to say, I saw Tapelo Izolo, so you got
Hey,
it.
Tabelo, so he's on.
Yeah, so there's a couple of people shouting out. But Tembi also said, if you want to be with someone, don't be in the relationship to take a break. Facts.
You need to know when you're
You
going
need
to
to know what
a
you're
Guys,
relationship.
wait. I think you're missing the key point here, ne? It's
Tell us
like,
what's the key point.
What's the key point?
Tell us the
Please.
key point.
Enlighten.
I'm not.
Everybody but come back in.
Yeah.
That's the key point. Listen, ne? It's like, you have friends, some of the friends, ne? You can go 3 weeks without even talking with them. The moment you come back, ne? You're still gonna talk. Me, now, what I'm saying is that it's normal for guys to go a wall on everyone to say. No, it is. Seriously. No,
You're normalizing nonsense.
3
That's
weeks.
what's going on.
So what now?
3
You're
weeks.
fasting
3
people
weeks.
now. Is your fasting?
Yes.
If you're gonna fast people, tell them.
Yeah.
No,
But 3
It's
weeks.
gonna sound like a breakup. If I
No,
say-
no.
That's fine. See, the issue here is that, like, these people, more specifically the man in the situation, the guy in the situation, because giving him man clearly, he's not grown up enough
My bad.
to take the reins and be like, babes, I'm gonna clearly communicate with you. This is what's gonna be happening in the time coming. I just need some time to myself. And also, us thinking that it's gonna, well, you thinking that it's gonna sound like a breakup also says a lot about your perception about communication. Because now you're thinking that the minute he communicates that he's not going to be around for a little bit, she's going to take it as a breakup. That's not what's happening.
But the thing is,
Bangani, you just want this guy to not be my man. Like,
it's
my
the
man.
first time.
No. I want to say something. It's not the first time.
It's
That's
not
why
the
she's
first
saying
time.
that if
Okay.
they dated and then they took
That's
that
what I'm
break.
saying.
They
Not
took
the
that
first
break.
time.
It's not the first time. And
So
I just want to say to the person who submitted, because we keep everything anonymous. I just want to say to her that, like, it makes sense why she's feeling that way, and we appreciate the question. And this is just all of us confirming that yes, you are the Popeye. And
You know the Popeye. So in your heart is right.
this situation is making you the Popeye here, and
You don't deserve it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than say, know your word. Leave this.
Yeah, know your words.
I think the biggest thing as well is that usually when you go back to a relationship, you have to be very sure that the thing that made you guys break up the first time is not going to be an issue again. The fact it's an issue again means that it has to end.
Yeah.
There's no point of just like continuing onto something and hoping for the best, because especially sounds like it's just happening early in the relationship again. So yeah, I think it's a time to call it a day. So, yeah.
Alright.
Latoya saying hoops is cute, man. So,
Hey!
yeah. So there's
Don't do this on the line. No, not on the line. I can't keep my composure.
What's happening?
I'm saying,
Michelle is saying, I'm starting to suspect Pongani as the boyfriend.
What?
So, yeah, facts. I'm seeing the likes are improving, so shout out to everybody for that. We had 100 people in the live, so that's dope. Now, this scenario is quite complicated. So before we continue with the situation, I'm gonna need you guys to answer something in the comments first. So this person says, my friend has an older cousin who has a half brother whom she shares a mother with this half brother. So who exactly is this person?
in terms
To
us.
the friend. Let me do this again. My friend has an older cousin
Yeah.
who has a half brother who she shares a mother with his half brother.
I feel like
What is this person?
I don't know what's
Wait,
happening.
I want to give them the chance to let us know in the live first.
Okay, it's a GIF or GIF, whatever it is. Of that, like the Nigerian, like the short Nigerian, like when he's like,
Yeah,
He was
that
like,
is my thing right now.
Hey,
Someone out of
My friend has
family.
a
So
cousin.
we said, family, yeah, this is algebra. Facts. Facts.
we can say start over, man.
Okay, my friend has an older cousin
sure, let's stop there. Okay, so, okay, friend, cousin. Sure. That
who
means
has a half brother
has a half brother. That means that's your cousin as well, but a half cousin. So like
Uh-huh.
a distant cousin.
who she shares a mother with this half brother.
Okay, so that whole
My
detail.
thing is
No,
it's
that
like-
whole detail. The
it's
mother thing doesn't
So
matter.
much
Yeah.
nonsense,
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
That is
Ah,
like,
no,
what's going
Yeah,
on?
no. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sharing the mother
The
part.
sharing mother is early.
It's
So it's a half cousin.
So yeah, it's almost like it's a distant cousin.
cousin.
Exactly.
To your friend.
Distant cousin.
Yeah.
Is that what-
Because the thing is, we don't know. In this case, it's like the mother, right?
It's
It's
your
the
friend's
mother.
distant cousin.
It's the mother, like
Yeah.
from their lineage.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
So
So it's like a
me
mother.
and you are still
You get what I
confused
mean?
on what's going on.
Okay, so anyway, it's the half cousin. We're
Yeah.
gonna use half cousin for this storyline.
Okay,
Right?
quarter cousin.
Not
Yes.
sure.
Which they share the same mother.
Yeah.
No, they say,
Yeah.
yeah, they share the mother.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah,
Could be.
thanks. We're gonna go with half cousin. Let's continue with the chat, right? Says, my friend, and listen, so my friend and the half cousin have had a thing since late 2016 till date. His mother is absolutely nothing to my friend other than her uncle's ex-girlfriend. So my question is it and would it be wrong if they not only continue their secret relationship, but they decide to go public, both to friends and family, about them being an item? So the half cousin, they don't have any blood relation, but the person who submitted the question is asking, is there a problem with her friend technically dating a half cousin, even though
They're
there's
not
no
dating.
blood relation?
So
Oh.
they're married, basically.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
they've been dating since 2016 till date, so it's not like a 5-month secret key situation.
Now my
This is
thing
now
is-
3 years and.
My thing is, let's start here. You calling this person your cousin, yeah. Like,
No, but-
you're not gonna go
But-
smash your cousin
Hey.
if you call that person cousin. That's my thing. Whether you guys are related by blood
Or
or
not.
you guys are related by
Facts.
marriage.
Obviously,
If you're
facts.
saying cousin,
Facts.
the minute you're okay with giving that cousin label and not just saying, this is Bongani.
Mama.
Okay.
Family friend.
If I'm calling Bongani my cousin, I'm not gonna go smash Bongani.
Okay, wait. What? Argument's sake, right?
Yeah.
What if she's just saying this just for like the full story, so we understand? Because from basically the way it was, so like broken down, right? It sounds as she doesn't really see the relation because it's the whole half cousin, half brother, half chat. And also, I think the mother in this case, I think the reason why she brought the mother was that it's sort of like it's not someone in your family. You know what I mean? So that's my chat was like. You don't see the relation. Yes, sharp. She's telling us like, nah, like okay, this is the cousin and all that stuff. But I think from the beginning, she doesn't see any relation because it's like, I hate saying this, but it's almost like it's watered down as we go down the path.
But dog, the mere fact that you see this person at family gathering,
And then you're
yeah,
yeah.
you're part of the same family.
And they
That's-
were there before you guys started dating. Not that they
Yeah.
come to family gatherings because you guys are dating.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
So are you saying this is limited to family? Like if they are family, that means you're not allowed to smash.
No,
Oh, you can smash
we
your
said,
family
do you
member.
smash?
No. But the thing is, it's not. No way.
This kid actually, what?
Are you supposing incest?
No, I'm not. But they say they're not blood related. So that means it's a far-fetched kind of. That's why we're so confused in the beginning. Because
very
it's far-fetched.
Yeah, very
So maybe we can give it the benefit of the doubt because it's far-fetched. Because
But
we
That's what I'm
confused.
saying.
But the thing is how the information was relayed. Because if the friend
Seems
didn't have
like
any
a relation.
situation or any problem, then there's really the relation is somewhat then
Yeah,
important.
because if the relation wasn't important, the person who submitted wouldn't have let us know about all that interconnectedness.
Yeah.
So clearly, they have an issue with the fact that they're together.
Elijah said Bongani is taking us today. Elijah.
Hey, Mr. CEO.
No, but
So,
so how do you guys feel? Let us know in the comments. I know everyone's reacting, but where do you guys stand with the
but
situation?
also this
What should we do?
And it's not olden days,
Yeah,
because I know in
also-
olden days in our culture, we were like low-key forced to marry our cousins. Like
Ew.
our families would like always marry us to our cousins in Tswana culture.
Ha!
Literally.
Ke Mozwana,
So-
ha ke di tsebe.
We live in millennial times, so we don't do that here. Thank you.
Guys,
Okay.
no, it's gross.
So wait, so what's the issue for this girl? Saying that the awkwardness of family.
Yeah, she's saying, is it like, should they go?
Publicly.
The first question is it wrong?
Yes.
So we need to say, is it wrong?
Yes.
Does anyone say no? Are we all saying yes?
Okay, I'll say it's wrong. I'll say it's wrong, but the way that they view the whole the relationship is that it's very far-fetched and very watered down. But I would say it's wrong. So I understand what Mongani is saying.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, sharp, we're related, but are we really related?
Yes.
That's how she's looking at it. That's at least, but I say it's wrong.
This is not Game of Thrones situation here.
If you look at it, like let's consider this: your sibling gets married, man, and then you are okay with marrying. So let's just say my brother has a wife, and then I'm okay, and then my brother's wife has a male cousin, right? Blood relation or not. Now I'm not gonna go and go marry because we're family now. It needs to be a situation where it's I feel then it takes away the sanctity of family. Because now I can't be I trust this person, I'm safe with this person because, our families came together. Because now I'm thinking this person wants to force a smash. No.
Okay, so Kakris is saying something key here, ne? Kakris is saying, personally, I would say, let's not judge them because their relationship has been there since 2016.
Facts.
That's key, 2016.
Facts.
And so that means the rest of the family members have no problem. I mean,
The thing is, it's a secret relationship, right?
But the thing
It's
is,
a
isn't it
secret
secret?
relationship, it's not public, the family doesn't know.
And if they
I'm
don't
just
know,
saying-
that means that the people who are involved in the relationship know that there's something.
They know
not
exactly.
No, low-key, I think the family knows. It's now just that thing of making it go public.
I'm just saying, if you're murdering people from 2016, it doesn't make it right. You've been doing it for a long time.
hey, we're just fighting in the comments. Fighting in the comments.
Wait, traditionally is not wrong. These things have been happening since, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Agreed.
Let's say it's
Thank you,
real.
Ruke. Tell them, just say it with your chest if you want to fuck your cousin.
Go on.
That's my issue because we're making excuses for this thing, and then you wanna, in the same breath, go make fun of people and call them, on the internet, you're committing incest, but now you wanna be here and say, oh no, it's not wrong because there's no blood relation. No, guys,
You
I'm
don't do
sorry,
that.
I'm not standing up for this, and it's wrong. And
Yeah. And this is not us judging. This is us just
Yeah.
sharing our views and our opinions. None of us here are
Say it with
registered.
your chest.
None of us are registered psychologists
Yeah.
or psychiatrists. We didn't mention that in the
Okay,
beginning.
cool. But that should go public. That should go public with the relationship.
And see
or-
what happens.
That's the thing. If they
That's
feel
not
like
the
they
question.
are deep within their love, then
Might as well.
that's what they need to do.
Yeah, I say they go public.
In fact, they must come to defining love. We should
Oh,
episode.
oh.
Yes, they must come to defining love.
Do you guys want to see them on defining love? Let us know.
Defining love.
That'll be actually a good episode. I would actually enjoy that episode. But no one ain't taking questions with that.
It's like, oh, what's your relationship? Oh no, we're cousins.
I'm gonna just be like, I'm sick.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait.
Oh,
Next
man.
question.
All right, next one. You guys ready?
Yes.
It says, I'm 19 and I've been friends with this girl for a few years now. And like any other friendships, we've had our ups and our downs. A month or so ago, I got a text from her saying, if you don't want to be friends with me, then you should just be frank and say it. No need to lie to me or go behind my back. Sorry, this is just a random text message that the friend said. She just said, and I'll read it again. If you don't want to be friends with me, then you should just be frank and say it. No need to lie to me or go behind my back. Upon reading this text, I was puzzled because we had been good friends for so long, and now I randomly received a text saying that. At first I thought she was just playing, or maybe she was going through something and was moody. Days went by and she had not been responding to my texts, but I thought I should just let it go. A week or so went by and she asked if I wanted to go to the mall with her, and I agreed, thinking that maybe she was finally over what was bothering her. After that day, we still have barely spoken to each other. So now my question is, should I still text her and see where she stands with me as a friend, or should I cut her off because clearly she shows no interest in being a part of this friendship anymore? I also think she feels some type of way because I recently got into a relationship, and after that whole text incident, I've been hanging out with my boyfriend more than her, but it's understandable, right? So that's what she's asking. She set up this whole dynamic about the friend, and she's basically saying she got that random text that was quite hectic, and then straight after that, she thought the friend would get over it, but then the friend hasn't. Now she's wondering, must she continue trying to pursue the friendship or not? And she mentioned that maybe the romance side is making things a bit like it's influencing her just a bit. I saw your comment, Dirty Dishes, where you said Satan is involved here. Don't worry, I saw that in between. What do you guys think about this situation?
Hi guys,
Yeah,
there shouldn't be grounds for uncertainty.
First of all, guys, okay,
Like grounds for uncertainty, there shouldn't be any at all.
Especially in a friendship.
Like literally,
That's a
you gotta
young-
know when
young
you stand
person.
with someone.
keep one thing in mind. It's a very young friendship.
We're
It's
not
like
19.
Yeah, she's 19.
So
But still, okay, I just want to address the whole I got in a relationship and stuff and hang out with my boyfriend more than young people, we have this horrible tendency where when we get into a relationship, we abandon all our other relationships. Like we abandon our friendships and we forget that those relationships also need nurturing. Like it's not just because we're friends, like I can just ignore you for however long and then I can come back and be like, oh yo, what's good? That's not how it works. So we mustn't forget that your friends need attention too. And just because you're in a relationship and you want to grow the strength of that relationship and the intimacy and whatever, it doesn't automatically mean now you neglect those people.
Yeah.
So I think there you need to do self-introspection with regards to how much time you spend with your friends when you're in a new relationship. And then coming back to the first question, where it's like, should I cut her off or not? I think like you know whether this person wants to be your friend or not still. Especially considering that text. That text came and then all of a sudden you get ghosted and then now babes wants to go to the mall and then after the mall, not anymore. Like clearly you can see that the effort is very one-sided, regardless of you being in a relationship or not. The effort is one-sided. You're the person putting into a relationship and you're not getting anything out. It's okay to leave. Like
Okay,
Pull up and ghost again.
so
no, just cut it off because if you don't cut it off, you leave it open for that person to walk back into your life.
Yeah.
so they need to have okay.
So cut it off.
I would
I
say
don't
they need to have
want
that conversation.
Yeah.
So from my side, you guys mentioned something key on the previous situation. Communication is key.
Yeah.
19 years old. I'm sure, like I know when we grow up, like from my side, I know I have sometimes when let my friends on purpose to say, okay, cool, I want to talk to my friends, I want to talk to my girlfriend. Like it happens, but now they're 19 years old. You're still a child at that moment. You don't have time. Like you need your friends. That's where you need your friends. That's where you need to develop as a person. Because now when you're 19, I don't know how many relationships people are in when you're 19 years old. When you're 19 years old, you play around most of the time.
These niggas are
The boyfriend will kill you
These kids
emotionally and then you want to go back to your friends. So friends are key when you're 19 years old. You need those friends. So the best thing for me, I'd say, communicate before you cut off.
That's my tip. I think just to add on to what Mongani was saying, I think when you're 19 and you like discovering yourself and finding out like your interest, you just finished high school, so you're trying to figure out life after high school. I just think that, as you were saying, it's important to have all those different perspectives because they will, ultimately build you and help you become the person you want to be. I think when it comes to the actual scenario, one thing that someone commented, which is actually valid, is to actually ask the friend and find out what's popping. Because even I do understand the person who submitted might not have been able to do that because the friend hasn't been responding to texts. So I completely get that part, but if there is a way to find out what's the actual issue, then that'll be actually cool because then you can have rest and clarity knowing what's the situation. Because now you don't want to have to think about the time that you spend with your boyfriend thinking, oh no, maybe this friend or that friend is going to be upset with me spending more time with my partner. So I do think it's really important to try and find out. If you can't find out, I also think that you shouldn't restrict yourself friendship-wise as well when you're 19. Like, get to know new people, new energy, because you can't be stuck on one person, be it relationship-wise or friendship-wise, at the age of 19. Like, there's so much life out there.
So much.
There's so much you haven't seen yet.
Literally. And like, I think my advice to her would be like, don't grow up too quickly. Like, don't think now that you're not in a relationship, you now have obligations to your boyfriend. No, live your life as a 19-year-old, but just be aware that you now have a responsibility, saying that now you've taken the what you rather chosen the fact that now you want to be in a relationship with someone else. So live by that. Don't live through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't grow up too quickly. Live your age.
Let's live it up. I see we had 133 people who are still a part of the live. Make sure to get those likes to 100. So we're at 92. So let's keep pushing it out. Anyone else wants to share?
Okay, so one of the comments says, no. For the fact that she shows no interest, it was a sign already that she didn't want to be friends in the first place. There are some people who you need to let go.
That's true.
Facts.
And you shouldn't be scared to let people go. Like as a joke, people come, people go. There's like, what, 7 billion people in South Africa? Can't be fixated on one.
But Zoe said now.
7 million one in South Africa. There's a lot of people on Earth. There's a lot of people on Earth, and you can't just fixate on one.
Did you say 7 million or 7 billion?
I said 7 billion.
You said billion in South Africa. Okay.
There's a lot.
There's technically 53 in South Africa, 53 million.
There we go.
Someone, Zoe quickly said, no, I love Zoe's comments. Zoe said, Zoe
shout
said,
out to you. Zoe, shout out to you.
Guys, but what you miss, that's Bootleg's comment, but guys, Zoe said, guys, stop commenting like adults. Think like a teenager. So we need to just meet her where her mind is at, which is actually valid. And then Bootleg said, guys, but what you missing is that you're putting a bad stigma on relationships. You can be in a relationship while young, but still be young, and your partner must understand that.
Exactly,
Facts.
thank you. I just feel like, you're taking yourself too seriously at 19. Like, be in a relationship, have fun, but it's not just a relationship that's existing. That's like everything else that you're missing in your peripheral view that is going on. The whole time. His name isn't Jomo, I'm just saying. that for the sake of you be Jomo this. No. Like it's okay. And also the whole being a teenager, you think your world is ended. Like you can't see beyond yourself. You only see you and the small world that you live in. And honestly, babes,
there's so much
much more happening out there. Like you're 19, you're probably in like first or second year. You know that you're living it up, bruh.
Explore yourself.
You
know, just
much of
your interests.
Like really, dynamics change once you get into a relationship and friendships. You have to realize that there's another relationship. So you also, as the friend, have to understand. No, man, this person is Jolari. Therefore, Nami, I need to kind of shift that. They're not all to me now. Like,
well, facts. I guess what you're saying, like as the friend, you should also
friend
now
should
bear in
understand,
mind that they're in a relationship and
exactly.
you guys
It's
won't be
something
able
you're
to
gonna
change.
change.
Yeah, facts.
So you shouldn't put that much pressure on the person in the relationship to feel like now they're too invested in the relationship to have time for you. Like don't be selfish with that time. That's my
Charles.
Alright. Other people say.
Okay, Lerato says,
I saw the comment as well,
but you had to go through the pain of letting go in order to get to where you are. She's only 19. Go back to your 19-year-old self and remember how hard it was letting go of your mates. Babes, I am really the wrong person to be putting myself in that kind of perspective because anyone who knows me knows. Like,
Chop my money.
it ain't nothing like honestly, like because I know myself and I know I put a lot of effort into every single relationship that I'm in. Like I'm very intentional with the time, and I've always been like this. I've never been someone who's flaky with friendships and everything. Like I communicate. I'd like to think very well. I still have so much room for improvement, but I'm not the one who will be able to say, yeah, when I was 19, I wasn't. Listen, if it's not working out, it's not working out. And that's a space where also a lot of you're friends with them because of proximity. And now, like, I'm out of varsity now. There's a lot of people that I was friends with in varsity that I do not speak to anymore because we're not close to each other. We're not seeing each other in class and all that. So, yeah, I just think like, she needs to think of the world outside of herself, but beyond that, excuse for not being able to put myself in her shoes.
But I think ultimately, to think about it from a 19-year-old perspective, I think that you need to just find out and get clarity with regards to what is happening in the friendship, because you need that closure when you're 19. You just feel like things are falling apart and you just need to be able to find out what is the friend expecting and what needs to happen from the situation. That's what I think needs to happen. Just find out where the friend is at so you can get closure. Because also friendship breakups are the realest. And we've spoken about that as well. They're not cool. So just find out from the friend and then from the
Just to address Buhle real quick, Buhle babes, you know I love you. You know this. I'm gonna said that I'm gonna get you a 6-pack when you and Sibu come and park the Suzuki at the meetup. We spoke about this, so now I'm waiting for us to make the things alive. You, Dennis, Tato must come. You make the things alive. We have the YouTube meetup in Pretoria. I get you a 6-pack. You know I've got you.
All right.
So let's actually tackle what's in the title. Why do men trip when their exes move on? So we got an email as well regarding a situation where a girl and a guy were together, and then after some time they broke up, and then they had a situation. You know when things get all shaky, and then they're in a relationship, and then they're not, and then homegirl moved on, and then the brother came back, getting involved in that relationship because him and the previous partner and the current partner operated in the same spaces.
Yep.
So he then
wait, like the current
the current boyfriend and the ex, they were in the same spaces. So like they're both in Hatfield, for example, and their friendship circles are like close. So he then would infiltrate through just talking bad about her to him indirectly and trying to somehow sabotage the relationship. So that's where the question of why do men trip, and act up
I have a motion.
with their exes.
I have a motion. Can we change it to why does anyone trip with their exes?
No, we're talking about men.
The question was men, so let's address that
So we're
first.
addressing men first.
But I'm just saying, like,
Hey.
if you were to like have an opinion on it, it would have to be based on
I'll speak on that. I'm
That's
the
all.
only girl here. So you're
Yeah, she's good.
You guys, I'm good, honey. When
trying to
I
put
say I'm good, I'm good.
Level class, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, she good,
And I'm good.
That's a tough one.
Who's gonna start?
Not really want to
Okay,
know.
wait, how did it break up, first of all? Was just like, from you read the whole email, so it was just like, it was just messy.
It's messy.
Okay, cool.
Messy.
Israel, I think that a lot of guys, have ownership tend to feel like they have ownership to their exes, you know what I mean? Especially when they break up. And I don't know, the gents, you guys can back me up, this is true. Guys know this. When you see that that person who was your one or whatever, move on and actually living a better life than you, it hits you hard. I feel like men, what shows about egos, it hits harder because it's like he's doing a better job than I did. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's a very dirty habit to have, that we try to take away someone's happiness through that. You know what I mean? So I feel it's coming through from feeling that you have ownership over someone's life, instead of actually just saying, like, you know what? If your main goal in the relationship from the beginning when you were with this person was for them to be happy, and then now they're happier without you, then you better keep that. Because you know that you sabotaging the relationship is just taking away from the main goal that you had of making that person happy. So I feel, I personally don't like that. The fact that as exes, we trip when someone moves on, especially when they're happy. I think it's a very.
But do you think that
it's a very dirty habit.
as guys we take the time to go through the pain to not have those nasty or negative habits?
I don't think so. As you feel like going through that pain,
Most coping mechanisms are quite toxic.
Yeah.
So they run away from the problem rather than dealing with it.
Yeah.
Hence why they have these habits of trying to sabotage.
Niggas who don't know Bruno Mars when I was your man. Them niggas do that. In fact, think about that song.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the balance is the difficult thing too. Like the fact that he's in the same proximity with this person a lot. Yeah, it definitely does play a part to it. But I still think that it's not a good characteristic to have. Yeah, I don't think it's right.
I think me as a gent, if I was to have a problem with it, it would be more of a thing of now she's dating someone who I wouldn't say is a stranger, like a complete stranger to me. Like I've known this person, I've come into contact with this person, and I would think at some stage this person knew that I was with this person. So now the fact that she moved on with that person, I'd be like, That would be my attitude towards
But I
it,
think
you know.
my perspective really is the whole thing of I don't think as guys we go through like the pain of breakups. I've experienced like it's the weirdest thing I've experienced like when guys like open up to me and they were like, no, this chick like fucked me over, so moving on, I'm not gonna love a girl the way I loved her ever again, and I'm just gonna go live my wildest life, and whatever happens, but I'm never gonna be a fool. Yeah, I'm never gonna be a fool again, and because like guys also don't like a lot of guys don't speak about their emotions or feelings regarding that type of stuff. They make that decision alone, and then that's that on that.
Yeah.
And that's where these toxic habits come in, where they then try and still be able to control or any other habits.
Make rash decisions, bro.
Yeah.
So, for me, from my side, there's a saying that says, another man's trash is another man's treasure. Right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that makes us as guys to say, like you treating your girl like trash. You know? But the moment you see another guy taking care of the person, you see a treasure, like, wait,
Actually.
how come I didn't see that you behave this way? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, you see a guy who makes a girl grow and shit, you get used to the fact that the girl that you're with, she's no longer beautiful in a way. You know how guys are. Like, you see other girls who say, that one is beautiful, but my girl is not normal. Yeah, but now, when you see Norma with a girl, like, wait. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So now you start to realize that, and then it goes back to what Hoop said. It's your ego at the end of the day that's set more than anything. I know, guys, we don't deal with breakups, but the main thing that we have a problem as guys is ego more than anything.
Yeah.
If your ego is hurt, you drastically, you even go to the girl to say, you know what, I know I can kiss you anytime.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Niggas be trash.
That's the thing about
They
guys.
just don't want to take.
And it's all about ego.
Yeah.
I'm just no, you can go. I'll speak when everyone is done from like a woman's perspective.
No one's
Okay,
gonna-
that's fine. I'm listening. So if anyone wants to add on that, then it's okay. I can hold back.
What's I gonna say?
So
You good?
Oh, bro, say my thing, man. Niggas don't want to take their L's in peace, though.
So
Yeah.
That's very true.
from my perspective with regards to this specific thing, I find that because of the way men are socialized when they grow up, they're socialized to be tough, like, oh, it's such a girls, like you have to have like this roster of women, and you know, your masculinity and your manhood is validated by how many women you get to be with. And so I think because of that, they tend to, when they leave a relationship, it's always on their mind when they can get the next girl, instead of dealing with what happened, like the boy said, like the men said, that men don't deal with their issues. My bad, I apologize.
All right.
Sure.
Boys, too bad.
And another thing is that because men aren't taught how to be in touch with their feelings, they never really know how to articulate their feelings properly to the person that they're in a relationship with. And then because of that, because honestly, like your girl is a reflection of the health of your relationship. And the reason why your ex is growing in a different relationship is because clearly that relationship is doing something better for her than what was happening when she was with you. And so because of that, now it's about you. What were you doing wrong? Why was she not a hot girl when she was with you? She's a hot girl now when she's with Jomo. That's the thing. Also,
Jomo guy.
you know, he's out here with your hand. And it's like, as Kabo said, like men don't want to take an L. Ego is such a big deal for me. And I think if we could, Bongani, please move your leg.
Zoe we see you. I will pray for you. Zoe
I think the reason, it's not last night, I can't afford.
You don't know me, rant. We sorry.
What?
We sorry.
No, it's okay. The reason, like, I just think that men need to value emotional intelligence over this concept of masculinity. And when we get to that point where it can be a thing of, we're not saying that women mature faster, we're saying that we mature at the same rate, so that it's normalized for a man who's 23 to be in a relationship with a woman who's 23 instead of a man who's 40 being in a relationship with a woman who's 23, because we're at the same mental capacity. I think we ultimately also need to tackle situations like this where they start at the root. The way we raise men, the way also men treat each other. Like now men can't go to their friends and be like, bruh, I'm hurt. Like this girl pulled my spirit out of my body with this breakup. Like they're so scared to speak about that because then the reaction that is normalized is, like you're hurt over girl, a skirt? Nah, no way, let's go get drunk. Let's go get wasted. We're gonna find girls at the hub. So because the reactions like that thing where now there's so much hype around finishing the honeys somewhere else that you can't be fixated on this.
There's plenty of other fish in the sea.
Exactly, that mentality.
Never finished it.
That's not fair. You know, there's a lot of fish in the sea, but you know, I'm not gonna finish that. I'm just saying that let's normalize emotional intelligence. That's the only way to fix these things. Let's normalize like having emotionally intelligent conversations with our friends. Even us ladies, we mustn't be out here saying, oh, I won't date a soft nigga. Like, yeah, like listen, we need to be out here for moist boys worldwide. That needs to be the team that we're on, so that Team Faithful Black Men can flourish. Like these things work together. These men can't be faithful if they're not emotionally intelligent. So that's all I'm gonna say. Like, yeah, the reason why as girls. And then Tomato was saying that he wants it to be people. The reason why girls don't enjoy
Zoe M.
Leave it alone!
Wait, Zoe M, listen to Norma. She's about to tell you something very serious. Take it into consideration. Zoe M, listen.
What was Zoe saying?
No, so much love.
Please. Yo. Don't lose your train of thoughts, Norma.
So the reason why, okay, from a personal perspective, because I can't speak for all the women, you know, maybe I have a different, but like from a personal perspective, the reason why I wouldn't be happy, the reason why I wouldn't be happy to see my ex in a different relationship is if this nigga sold me dreams, né? And then in the relationship, none of the things he said actually happened. But now, and then we break up 2 weeks later, he's in a happy relationship with someone else, and he's giving that woman all the things that he said he was going to give me. Okay, I don't want to bring acrimony into this because for me, I'm on the man's side. For acrimony, that's another problematic opinion that we're going to do a different time. But I just mean, like, for me, that's the thing. Like, if my man was telling me that, you know, like he's telling me dreams and he can see, because men know when you're falling in love with them.
Yeah.
They know and they can see it and they know that they're making you fall in love with them. And then they'll still go and play the fool and feign ignorance and be like, I never asked you out. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it wasn't that serious. That's the issue. Men are psychopaths
What do you mean?
that make you fall in love with them. Exactly. What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, that's the issue.
We were just chilling.
So that's the issue. Like, I'm not gonna be
Just cuddling.
Just kissing.
Yeah, exactly. Men have this really bad tendency
Niggas
of
are trash.
downplaying. He said it, I didn't. He said it. That men have this very bad tendency of downplaying the intimacy that they give you. Like, you can't be out here, you know, making me pour my heart out to you, being this man who listens, making me feel seen, making me feel like I matter and I'm all these amazing things. And then you want to turn around and be like, it wasn't that deep. Babes, I will burn down the house.
Wait, my girl just said men are manipulative. What? Men are manipulative.
Your girl.
Literally, bro. Read it.
Really?
Tembi.
What's wrong with
Shout out
Men
to
are
you,
manipulative.
Tembi,
She wants all the smoke.
it's the fact, and I'm standing here with you. Men are manipulative. They know exactly what they're doing. But because of this whole boys will be boys narrative, they think they can get away with everything. Listen, boys will be held.
I love playing the victim game.
Have a way, nah. Relax. What is it? You like
laughing.
Have a way.
I'm just surprised.
I'm just saying that it's true. Men are very manipulative and they're very smart. And I
Rory,
like,
don't come for me. Continue.
men are smart and they know what they're doing and they know they're making us fall head over heels for them. And like they know exactly what they're doing. These are the people that invented the game.
Yo, freaking pathological liars.
Yo.
Yes.
Hey guys, people are gonna start men chest.
No, I just feel like we need to say it how it is.
Listen, wait.
No, no.
Wait. Listen.
Relax.
No.
Ease.
Yeah? Listen, we like playing the game, né? But how you play it with us is what matters. Like if you play it well, you might end up together.
FIFA more.
It's a thing. No, wait.
Why?
Hey, dog, you're on your own. No, you're on your own. This is you're on your own.
Take off your chest.
But look what you've done. Look what you've done now.
Take off your chest. I'm ready to answer.
The thing
See my hands
is,
up.
the thing is, né? Like the important thing when it comes to building a relationship, né? It's how smart you are in terms of the game. If you know I'm playing on you, né? Play hard to get. It's a game. If you play the game,
Love is not a game. That's not the message we educate to find. We love.
We play tiki-taka.
Before you win the actual prize, né, you need to play the game.
What's the prize?
The actual prize is the actual relationship where we get to do the actual thing. But before the game, you know the hunting game when you need to literally go after your girl. That's how important this is. Don't be an easy go-to girl, because if you're an easy person, it's gonna be no.
Okay, wait. You know what? I said I wasn't going to support you, but okay, I don't know what you're coming from.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
Wait, nobody's
Someone's hand has been up.
You know what? Let Noma speak. Noma, you can go. I was gonna try to help people, Gandhi, but hey, put yourself in the picture. Yourself. This was all on you. I tried to help you.
And what about
Oh God.
You know what? You know
What's the other hood here?
We tried to save you.
But you, she's about to kill me. She's about to kill me.
Let's
Wait. You know like Mortal Kombat?
Give it to me.
Finish him. Pause. You see the finishing move? Like what's the
Okay, Noma. The floor is yours.
That's a wrap.
The good sis.
So I would just like to say in response to Bongani, that first you admitted there that men invented the game. Second, I don't understand why it has to be a game. It's nonsense. Like that is nonsense. And for the mere fact that I'm not gonna say men, I'm gonna say you because everyone else said I'm not
We try to save you. We try.
Don't add lip. I was quiet. Don't add lip. For the mere fact that you, Bongani, want women to play into this nonsense game that you guys invented is sickening. Because that plays into men not being open about their emotions and not telling you things. This plays into men being manipulative. This plays into, like, we don't fall in love the same way. And the concept that just because I liked you fast, now you think that you're my only option. Babes, you're not.
Can I walk off the
I
camera?
have no.
Wait, someone said Bongani plus FIFA 19 equals relationship.
Like,
I missed these comments. You saying relationship?
Like, that's the thing. It's not a game. This is real life. These are serious things. You guys are playing with people's emotions.
Yeah.
And these are detrimental. And for, like, the fact that you can say it so easily. Or like, we don't want you to, like, play hard to get. Hard to get is bullshit. I'm gonna say it as it is. It's nonsense. Because you know why? The best relationships that I know of are the ones where they just fell into it. And what's the point of hard to get if we're gonna get into a relationship anyway? We're wasting time. No one's getting younger. Rashwa, global warming, climate change, the world is going away. So this whole thing of, oh, hold back, oh, hard to get, it's nonsense. And it's things like this, statements like this that are at the core, and I'm not saying it's the only one, but at the core of the men on trash movement. Where men think that they can control things, they can be manipulative, they can say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to be like this for me to be with you. No, sorry, I'm not here for it. Like, we're dating this, don't even bring it up ever again.
Someone fire, flame emotions. Fire, flame emotions.
We tried to save you, bro.
Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this narrative. It's
We tried.
Let's close it off like this, man. Easy come, Easy go. You can continue.
See, but the thing with
No.
I said don't bring it up again. Here I am. The thing with easy come, easy go is that you guys are now making it. You're objectifying.
We tried to save you, bro.
That's the
We
thing.
tried.
Because the whole easy come, easy go thing is in terms of stuff. Women are not stuff. And also, listen, you know, there was this comedian, she said something really funny, Ali Wong, you guys know her, you know, she said that if I'm letting you smash on the first date, it's not because I don't respect myself, it's because I don't respect you.
Alright, good people, so on that note, we're going to be wrapping up this very first episode of Asking for a Friend live. Come on. It was so much fun, thank you everyone.
Wow. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal right there, guys.
That's a number for president.
But they don't respect you.
Imagine.
Smash first night. They don't respect
And I saw the comments where people were like, "Hoops, are you listening? Tapelo, are you listening?" So yeah,
Shout out to
boys.
Victoria.
Hi guys,
Guys, Tapelo is in a very happy and what I would like to believe healthy relationship, and that's a lot coming from me. So
No more for president.
Number for president.
No one for president.
Alright, good people, it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. Make sure to continue the conversation in the comment section below. I think we're going to keep the live on for the rest of the day. Please don't forget to continue to like, and also don't forget that. No, it's not at the end. Come on, boy! Come on, boy! And Dalroy saying Bongani for MVP. Boy!
Yo.
Boy!
Delroy, don't do that. No. Delroy.
you're coming in
City boy Sam, man.
Come to the
City boy
come to the
Sam.
comment section, take with your chest, I'll meet you there.
Oh. Okay,
Let's begin the
Okay, we need to end this.
Tell me.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, make sure to comment in the Shakana video if you want to win those Rose Fest tickets. And number three, get us to 14K so we can post 2 Defining Life episodes next week.
Also, I just want to say, everyone that is in the live, if you ever see anyone misspell Dennis's name in the comment section, flame. Because
it's not
you guys
Denise.
have this really bad habit of like misspelling words that are in the video. Just read.
Thanks.
It's DENNIS. Done. That's it. There's no variations, no substitutions. Done.
Let us know in the comments as well as on Instagram if you guys want us to have more Asking for a Friend live. So I'm Dennis Ngango.
I'm Tapelo XTP.
I'm Bongani _.
I'm Noma.
Hey, whoa. I thought you were gonna skip me again. And it's your boy Hoops.
And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and bye from the family.
Peace out. That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.